Good morning, traders. Today is a recovery day from yesterday in the stock market. So yesterday we had a big move down. And today we are expecting to recover a little bit from this move down based on the gap up, which has slightly closed leading up in the few minutes to the open. Let's fix these chart time frames. XLNX on the daily chart is up in this little floating island up here, but it's not recovering this gap. It's not filling this gap. It's actually gapping up even further to 129, 130-ish, which is not all-time high. You could probably see on this chart. No. So that was years ago. Just over 3 years ago. No, here we go. It was 2 years ago. We have a little over a year ago, actually. 141 here. We're gapping up to 130. So we'll see a little bit of resistance maybe at 135, but mostly just playing with the psychological level of all-time high in this stock. So that's plenty of room to go. You can see tested 135 pre-market actually. Let me get rid of yesterday's watch list and start adding today's. XLNX. That one looks good. Hog. Volume's okay on the daily chart. We're gapping up 32. That's over this recent highs, and then we're gapping right into some resistance. 33, 34, each whole number will see some resistance. The main SR level we'll be seeing in this one is 36, but whether we get to that one today or not, I don't know. Honestly don't think it'll have that much steam, but we'll keep it maybe over pre-market high 3250-ish. EXAS. Okay, it's gapping up to 112.75-ish. See some resistance at 115 and 120. Okay, we can play around with that. We have SAP again. Good old SAP. This made a big move down yesterday. I'll show you here the big red candle that it recovered. Hold on a second. Did this move up, not down? Yeah, no, this moved. Big move down. And then recovered some after hours. Saw some resistance at, where are we? Oh, that's why. We're floating down here. Big red candle. And now we are going up to 118. I mean, there's a huge gap for this to start trying to fill over the next few days. Another thing that's interesting about this is it is right now playing at yesterday's highs. Yesterday's high of day, 118.69. Let's draw in this level. 118.69, so that we know where that is. That'll act as some resistance. Throw SAP on our watch list. Next we have, let's pull up XLNX. See what these do at the open. Okay, this is coming over resistance right away of the previous candle. We have it as previous support. I want to see a pullback in the stock first though. Hog coming up. Everything green candle to start with. SAP is pulling back actually, which is okay. We want to see it over this level. Caterpillar we want to see pulling back, which it is. All of the gap downs, except for ET, all of the gap downs are pulling back nicely. So we want to watch these ones on the second candle to break the first candle's low. All right, hog pulled back. XS is pulling back a little bit. SAP is pulling back as well. So we want to watch SAP, CAT, and LLY. CAT we want to watch under 160.50. We didn't draw on any levels here, but 160 is the level to watch. We also want to take LLY under these lows. ET's coming back up. XS is just blowing up. Not giving us an entry though. That's a pretty big move. Alright, there's our pullback in XLNX. It's giving us a stop and an entry. We'll see where this body closes. It'd be ideal if it closes over 129. Missed hog this entry at 32.24. Said we're going to take this over the candle previously. Let's see what this one looks like. The thing about hog and why I hesitate is because it's going right into some resistance. So it needs a good scan again really quick. Let's because there were more gap ups than gap downs at the start. Let's check the gap ups. SPAQ again. How many days in a row is that this has been on the scanner? Finally recovering. Wouldn't mind telling. Hog is breaking out again. This was a missed trade on my part. Could have taken it over, like I said, the first candle high or pre-market high up here. We were waiting for pre-market high actually, and it ended up happening much faster than I expected. XLNX is finally curling back up. XS is forming a little bit of a bullish pennant. SAP. So hog was the trade of the morning so far. Could have taken it over high of the first candle for the OBO, or you could have taken it over pre-market high right here. Either one would have given you well over 1R. Let's see what some of our longer term holdings are doing. We have Hasbro coming up. Our swing trade in Hasbro that we held from yesterday has made $50 on the day so far. Recovered its losses from yesterday. As we expected, on the daily chart, we might even expect this to come back down. It doesn't look like it has the strength. Check back in on hog. Look at that move down. Could have gotten in on that when it was a red candle. Obviously there's no setup there. You're just trying to catch a falling knife. So I'm just teasing a little bit. I'll cancel XS if it goes below 119. Yes, I'm even considering going short in XS, but we'll see. It looks like it wants to move up. Might take this one over 121. XLNX broke down. Going to take this one off of the watch list. It's up 11%, but breaking down. We're not taking a counter trend trade in that one. So CAT is hardly down, or yeah, hardly down, only down 1.5%. Taking that one off the watch list as well. It's just not moving enough to day trade. ET, I've said time and time again how I don't like how it feels, so might as well not get distracted by it. And now our watch list is only 3. We might take this secondary hog trade here at 33.50, which I kind of like based on the daily chart a little bit better, because 33.50 was somewhat of a resistance level. I remember correctly. Yes. On the daily chart, 3350 resistance, we have 34-ish. Yeah, I'm gonna get into a call here. And this is going to be a quick trade because it's high volatility. I don't want to be in this one long at all. This is a quick scalp for the 34 break. I've just seen the strength in this one a couple times now. We missed the first trade, but it pulled back. And if you were looking on a very, very small frame of time at the open, this looks like a big move. But now if you open all the way back up, now you can scrunch it down like that, kind of manipulate the chart and help you see that maybe this is not that massive of a move. This is the move up, this is the pullback, and now it's continuing up, and we're taking it over these highs of 33.50, less than a point stop. It broke 34. We want to see it break with a little bit more strength than that. We are up $17 on the trade already. We got in at $1. Looks like 34 is holding it up on the ask. Once that breaks down, a little bit of a wall at 34.05. There we go. And we're gonna sell this around 34.50 and see how much steam it has in that area though. This one can spike up pretty fast as we have seen. Going to come in here and create a closing order, get this ready. 135 on the ask. It is around that 34.50 level. The next level on the daily, as this slightly pulls back, we have 34.50. 36. Oh yeah, that's the number we said pre-market we really want to watch out for if this has the steam to move up that high. So we have 34.50 right here as the current SR, 34.70 actually. We're playing with 34.50, which is the beginning of this gap that has not been filled, even though it's a very tiny gap. You can see this up to 35 and then 36. So let's see if it could hold up its steam this morning. It is trying so hard to break this 35 level. It's either going to just trip and fall over. It is up 20% already. It's either going to trip. Level 2 is picking up some steam again. See a bit of a selling wall at 34.90. Volume is drying up a little bit. Our 1-to-1 was around 34.50, so if it comes down to that level, we're just going to keep moving this order around the price action in case anything happens. So we're moving it lower, almost as a stop in the option price. But then if we see some more bullish momentum, we want to try and let that momentum carry through. So we're going to push the fishing order up a little bit higher, so that if this price spikes up through this resistance level at 35 again, and it spikes up enough to fill our fishing order, we'll get filled there. And if not, then we'll bring it down to our regular order, which is that the 170 area. Now seems to be held up by this 34.75 level quite nicely. It's trending between 34.75 and 35 whole number. We'll see if it breaks under this 44.75 level. We might want to get out. 165, 150 on the ask. Price is dropping pretty quick. Get ready to change this for 150. 165 on the ask now. 150 on the bid. Option price spiked up there, nothing happened. All right, let's leave this for a second. Check out a few other stocks. 𝗁𝗂 is bouncing off of this support area. XS finally broke up. Decent SR as a stop and an entry. Decent reward to risk. Lily is just ranging sideways. You can see what Hasbro is doing now. It's pulled back down. Hasbro is our swing trade from yesterday. We want to see this coming up and recovering some of yesterday's loss. We want to see it over 84.50. It was up there for just a few seconds. Head back over to Hog. Broke 35. We have an order in at 190. 190. Let's see if we can get filled up here. This one has been trying so hard to break through this resistance, this supply zone. Lots of sellers providing shares to the market that buyers are slowly chipping away at. See some large spreads on the option chain here. We are 2 strikes in the money now. Since our purchase price around 33.50, I believe we got the 34 call. Yep. Here's our move. 3 green candles in a row on the 5-minute chart. 5 minutes looking a little bit weaker. If we see this candle close over the previous wick, made another move up, 35.34. I'm surprised this hasn't tested 35.50 yet. Slowly trying to make its way up. Still somebody undercutting us on the ask by 5 cents here. Neo is curling up. This has been a multi-day situation. Neo's been getting a lot of attention recently. It's breaking over this SR level 2740-ish. Might consider taking this up to 28. $28 seems very possible. Decent reward to risk. Volume spike on this candle, which I like. We have some decent resistance at 27.50 though that we're buying into. But we're close enough with strength 3 cents away. If this breaks 27.50, I'd like to get in. Watching Hog, you can see Hog is taking a breather. Still haven't tested 35.50. We are over 35 still. On the ask at least. You can see the levels it's playing with from back here. 36 is really the number it wants to see, but 35.50, support here, not much here, resistance here, and resistance here. So 35.50 is a pretty strong level. We haven't quite tested it yet. 36 will be the next level after that. Looks like this wants to pull back on the 5-minute, which is okay. We'll let that happen. Zoom back in here. Our Neo trade is coming back up. We're taking this one up to 28. Neo, we entered over break of highs. This is first move was back here, but it wasn't up 4%, didn't meet our scan requirements. But that was still the first move in the stock. Slowly went up, kind of made a pullback here, 3-4 candles, made a second move. This is the third move, but it's also the biggest move of the day after the biggest pullback. We're taking this one up to 28, which is resistance from yesterday. And on the daily chart, stop is down here at the low of this pullback. So good reward to risk. It's worth taking this trade, and we're taking it with small size. So all is good there. Hog is taking a breather. 160 on the ask now. What's the Lily doing? Lily's curling down. All right, Hasbro is coming up again. The 5-minute chart saw its pullback, so I like this move a lot. Now that it saw a pullback on the 5-minute chart and it can move up, here's our spike up that we're looking for. We have our order 190 on the ask. We're coming up to test 35.50, and we're filled at 190 on the ask at this test at 35.50. Guess that price. You can probably see this one come up again and test 36. But I'm happy to get out of this. We've been holding on to it a while, and it finally made the move we were looking for, testing 35.50. You can see we just made $90 in this trade in Hog, which is huge in this account. We started the day with 650-ish in buying power. And now we're just holding on to Neo, which is now coming up. We want to see this one up to 28. 28 is a resistance level from yesterday, and on the daily chart you can see all these candles and support on these. Check the 1 hour from yesterday, you could see, not yesterday, but last week, see how much this 28 level played around with this stock. So we'll see if we can test that resistance level today. And if today's not the day, then okay, we have a stop in place. Hog has come back down. Seems like this is making these quick spikes up and they're being held down each time. So it will either... Neo is finding a little bit of strength here. It's a slow mover though, and we saw that early in the morning. Moves up, pulls back, moves up, pulls back, moves up, pulls back, moves up, pulls back, which can be good or bad. It could be good because a slow move up is more sustainable and can go further over a longer period of time. There's more strength in the move because it keeps pulling back and showing that it has the strength to continue forward. However, it could be bad because that also means that every time it pulls back, sellers gain a little bit more control. However, if you look at the daily chart, we're seeing a pullback, break of yesterday's high, break of the previous day high. We're breaking all these, this SR level right here at 2744-ish, 2744-ish, which is where we got in. That was the high of the day, actually exactly 2744 when we got in at this break. So we're breaking that SR level on the daily chart, which should have quite a bit of strength for this move. You can see Hog is still hovering under this 35.50 level, hasn't fully broken it again. We could see a similar situation at 35.50 that we saw at 35, where it's hovering, breaking every once in a while until it finally has the strength to break through to the next resistance level, which will be 36. XS is up 20% now. When will this one pull back? You can see it has historically had a really big green candle and then a few smaller green candles after, and it actually hasn't recovered from that yet. So this has had two really big moves, not as much volume on this one as the previous move, which tells me that this might pull back some today. Might even consider taking an option on that reversal, buying a put if we can afford it, although the spread is a little too wide right now. Hog broke 35.50. And see if it has the strength to make it up to that 36 resistance level that we pointed out on the daily chart. But this one, great trade. We took it down here around 33.50, held it all the way up to this test of 35.50. Took 2 points on that one, 1 point stop. And now it's volume is declining through this move up, which we normally see throughout the morning session, of course. So see if it can get its increase in volume. Again, the 5-minute chart looked very clean for this to continue up. So it looks like it's doing that first of the two possibilities we spoke about a few minutes ago. All right, NEO is hovering around our entry level, using it as support, which is good. We've seen this a bunch of times last week and the week prior, where it breaks through an entry level and then uses it as support, which confirms to us that that was a good level of SR to enter at, and then it comes up and slowly hits our target. This is a slower mover. However, that could also mean it doesn't have the oomph to break upwards and it ends up curling down or going sideways. We wanted this to be a quick trade because it's a lower confidence trade, lower quality, but we might see it curl back kind of like this and then come up into the lunch session or into the closing session. All right, Hog is pulling back. XS, we're looking for a pullback as well. Not for an entry long, but possibly for a reversal entry short. Can't afford a put in this one just yet. Maybe at 120. I like the break under this 125 level. See if we can get in here at a decent price. We do, 225. We're in a 120 put. Ask is at 220. So we got in at a good price there. We're taking this one on this bearish engulfing candle that's forming. This has made a big move up today. The news. Earnings. Shares rise 5%, but Q3 loss widens. And this is buying another company for 410 million. So it's buying a few companies. They have a lot of cash. They're selling shares of common stock at $101 per share to raise some capital for possibly to make all of these company purchases. We're a long ways away from 101 right now. Looks like that might have motivated some of this move up. So lots of conflicting news going on. Pretty much there's a lot of good news, companies doing good things, but it's using up its money. It's making big moves that aren't going to get immediate returns, and this is an immediate return, so it's going to pull back most likely. Do you have any long-term, do you do any long-term trading? What do you mean? How do you split your capital for day trading and investments? I invest 15% of my income every month, and slowly as my income grows and my expenses take less of a percentage of my income, I can take that change in percentage of my income that my expenses take up and take that percentage and put into my investments. And so slowly but surely that percentage will increase. I also put like 10% of my income every month in education, 5% to giving, charity donations, friends and family, stuff like that. I have my income. Okay, we can see excess here coming back down. Nice system. Yep, that's what I'm trying to teach with Inlight Trading. In Inlight as a whole, Inlight is the overall company, the overall online education company. We're going to add in the personal finance stuff like that. Also add in physical well-being, financial well-being, mental well-being, all the different appendages of well-being so that you can get all of that as a package and just become a better person overall. We're starting with trading, leading into your financial independence so that you can better understand your financial well-being. So I'm using trading as a way to test out different online education platforms, see what I like the most, learn a little bit about online education, learn what's good about online courses, what's bad, what's good about online mentorships, what's bad, and then slowly fine-tune that into a near perfect online education model that can grow to a bunch of different areas, a bunch of different topics, and then eventually grow to a bunch of different users globally. Yeah, my goal with Inlight Trading is to help you. I also teach you systems like that. If you're a mentorship client of mine, for example, every single week we go through your current finances and make sure that you're doing. XS is pulling back still. Let's see what Hog is doing. Hog, so much steam in this one. Look at this volume spike. That was a great trade. Great trade. Could have, yeah, made what, twice as much profits, but I mean, this move only happens, let's say 50% of the time it continues up, 50% of the time it moves down. And so securing $90 in profit on a $500 account, starting account, we started the day at, I forget exactly now. Little Hog is up 25% now. Testing that 36 resistance, came up. You see 36 here. Next resistance is 37.25. And then 38. Or it curls back down under 36. Might even consider taking a put in this one under 36, since that is such a strong SR level. If it doesn't hold above it as support, it will likely pull back a little bit. We'll have a good stop, 78-cent stop. And that might be our last trade of the day, taking a Hog short under 36 for the reversal. Similar to this XS trade. It's kind of a feeling trade, not XS curling back down. Market is slowing down some. NEO is hovering around our entry. SPY is coming back up. Be about break even in a couple seconds here. So really, we had one good trade today. That was Hog. We went long over this 33.50 level, and you can see how high it's gone. Since then, we've closed this trade. We're now looking for a reversal in a possibility because it's a little overextended. And since you could trade a stock up and down, might as well take advantage of both sides of its movement. Decent volume on this candle. Doji. We're moving down. You can see the 5-minute chart down here, forming an inverted hammer up at the top here. If we can get a nice shooting star, and we'll see what happens. Maybe even take this under 36.50. I want to see how this 5-minute candle closes though. We're a minute and 30 seconds from that 5-minute candle closing. If we get this 5-minute candle to close as this inverted hammer and then take it under the lows of 36.50, that'd be nice. Good volume on this reversal candle. That means the bulls and the bears are really fighting at it. So whoever wins after this will deserve that to win. See a massive buying wall right now at 36.35. Keep that in mind. XS still hasn't made up its mind what it wants to do. NEO still at our entry. We talked about this one. Came up, tested support, and it's hovering around our entry. It's going to be very slow. It was slow this morning in its move up. It's going to be slow throughout the lunch session to hit our target. If it does, if not, very tight stop. And very small trade that we took in that one. All right. I like Hog here under 36.50. I want to get in before my meeting as well. Let's see if I can get it at 110. Split the bid and the ask. Change to 115 because that was the ask for a long time. Should be able to get filled there. If I had to change the 120, nope. Okay, we're in 115, last trade of the day. We're gonna put for hog. This one is overextended, almost 26% up on the day. Just going to let this one reverse a little bit. It's such a tight stop, such a low risk trade here. I'll update you on how these trades go. Also, the best place to check out is, of course, the blog post. I will type it just one more time in chat for you all. That blog post, it's the master blog post. Okay, let's do a quick recap of today's morning session now. We took a massive trade in hog. We felt like we missed an entry here over pre-market high 32.50. You see, pulled back, moved up. Sometimes we'll take the break of this first candle as well, but we had 32.50 as resistance. Didn't want to buy it right into resistance, so we watched it on this candle, checked another stock, missed the break, and didn't want to chase, so we sat on our hands. And then I watched it pull back down here, set a stop level around 32.60. Much better pullback in this one. Showed really the size of move that hog was wanting to make today. So we took it over the break of this resistance at the highs, and it ended up skyrocketing up. We had our targets at 35.50 and 36, and it hovered so much around 35 and finally poked up to 35.50. I got out here for $90 of profit, and then it did end up breaking and making a move up. And then right now we actually took a very, very, very low risk, small size trade in this one against the trend. It is by purchasing a put, it is up 27% almost now, and you can see on the daily chart it's just floating up here, and it's testing a bunch of resistance from pre-COVID times. And so we're kind of predicting this resistance as volume dries up in the lunch session, which starts in 3 minutes. It will likely start to reverse and recover some of this 27% move up. And then we also took a trade in NEO. This is just a very simple late morning kind of breakout trade, where it made this slow move up throughout the morning, pulled back on the 2-minute chart here, tested the highs as resistance, tested this tweezer top as resistance, ended up breaking it. So we entered because, again, small size, we could set a very tight stop in this one. So very low risk. 28 is a resistance level from a few days ago on the daily chart. And so we're using that as a stop today. And this one we expect through the lunch session to either just slowly make its way up to 28 or get stopped out for a very small stop. And then last but not least, we also took a reversal trade in excess on, you can see this move up. You can see if you draw a trend line here at the bottom of all these pullbacks, it broke under that trend line here and then continued down on a secondary move. You can see even closer on the 1-minute chart, draw the trend line in here, broke down, and then it was testing this 126 level. We took it on the break of 126, and it's been hovering under 126 ever since, up and down. This is similar to that second hog trade we took, where this is up 18% on the daily chart. This is just floating up here. And in this case, it's not hitting a ton of resistance. It has had 2 really big moves recently, and we're guessing it's time for this one to take a breather. So we took it under this SR level, and we'll see how far down this can come. Again, very low risk, small size, very tight stop at high of day if it ends up moving up that high. But even if it covers 50% of today's move, that'll be over 2R, 2 reward to just 1 unit of risk, which is a wonderful trade. So whoa, what's going on with my camera here? What's going on with the camera here? Let's try and clean this up. There we go. Seems like every day I'm fixing the focus on this camera. Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's trading session. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you took a trade or two on your own. I hope you made some money. If you are joining this stream late, watch the YouTube video. Of course, if you're watching the YouTube video, leave a like, leave a comment what trades you took today so we can talk about them, so I can learn more about you and who's watching these videos and these streams. Other than that, thank you again for watching, and I will see you here again on Twitch streaming my trading tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.